Hello friends, Mother Designer here with a map update for my TF2 project. Last time I discussed the iterations I did to get to a layout I liked. In this video I'll be talking about the iterations of improving the very flat gray box to what I would like to call Gray Box Plus. So let's dive in to reviewing the old level, then I'll talk about the changes I've made for the level as it exists right now. So let's get started. In my last video about the making of a TF2 level, I left off at this point where I had a layout where I was pretty happy with the construction. It had a spawn room, and it has multiple paths outside of the spawn, and a decent flow to the capture point with multiple options of verticality and paths. Coming to the middle, I kind of built a figure 8 shape that I was pretty happy with for players to fight around the center capture point. And the symmetry of it all kept it balanced and fair. But from this point on, the next step was to make this feel like a location. And in the process of doing that, I made some modifications to the layout to improve the flow of things. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same. So let's take a look at the new iteration that I'd like to call Gray Box Plus. Here we are in the next iteration of the level, a Gray Box Plus version of it, and we're in the same spawn room. But there's a difference. It's kind of pushed back a bit and set at an angle. So this room is still exactly the same, but the change is this diagonal line here, this ramp, and this little area for the players to actually spawn in. And what this does is when you're here, you can see the two base exits clearly. So that gives the attacking team of either side a time to think. You just run and you can go left or right. As soon as you come outside, there's a lot more geometry now, starting to feel like a location. I'm still trying to get the hang of TF2 BSP art. I'm not very good at BSP art. The shapes are coming together where it's starting to feel like a TF2 level. So instead of just flat walls, buildings are starting to take shape. Looking at this first building, I actually punched out some windows to allow light in, to give this more of a structural space rather than just a bunch of boxes slapped together. And same with the spawn area, it feels like one cohesive structure, and this is the part where the players exit from. But looking back into the skybox area, it feels like one big building. I started to do a little bit of storytelling here of why the map is blocked, so there's maybe a tunnel back there, or supplies or trucks come through here. But yeah, I made a little guardhouse kind of thing connecting the gate to the structure. Moving on. This building changed a bit. I set it, before it used to be just kind of a straight box with the stairs going straight up. But I skewed it at an angle, so when you approach it, it kind of catches your eye more. I've made this an official blocker, so it creates that sense of choice that I talked about last time. So you can go left or right. And coming up here, I've set the stairs, I didn't do any lighting, but I've set the stairs at an angle, so it kind of guides you the same way. And this was all open in the last layout. But now I have some walls set up, sightline blockers, and it kind of guides the player around to the sniper perch. And as you can see on the red side, and here on the blue side, I did a little bit of set dressing. I don't know if I like it or not, but just to get rid of that sightline blocker where I had a wall here. It felt very thin and flimsy, so something a little more chunky to block the player's sightline, but also define the boundaries of the level that you cannot cross the space. Right now I don't have any blocking brushes set up, so you could technically jump over all this, but soon you won't be able to. But again, the symmetry is there. It's a bit of a gameism of why the same objects are on both sides. Maybe down the road when I actually do set dressing, I will change the visual style for both sides of the map. But we'll see. Some TF2 maps are very samey, and it's just a game, so I might not overthink it. But yeah, now the center feels like a interesting space. I can clearly see the red building, and likewise the blue building. Again, a sense of symmetry. Trying to get that TF2 architectural style, maybe. But there's some Z fighting on some brushes. Some brushes are missing. But for the most part, it feels like a space now. Like, just coming into here, I'm already thinking about more defined art style, rather than just seeing a bunch of blocks. Still need to put blocking brushes on these stupid things, I forgot about that. But yeah, even coming down this path, this is still here, but now I made it more like a structure. Just goes down. These might become pipes or something later. I don't know what this theme of the map will be. They did solve a problem of guiding the player because you're so low and you're up there, but now your eye catches those barrels, your eye catches these leading lines of the pipes going left to right. So logically, you know, your eye will follow that, and following the ramp will take you where you were looking. So I think that will work out in the end for this spot here. But overall, it's still pretty much the exact same layout. It has some better sightline blockers. There was one sightline problem up here, I remember, that I talked about in the last layout. Again, I added some more windows just for visibility and light. That still could be a sightline problem right here, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But yeah, if I'm here, I still can't see all the way down like I used to, but still has a lot of visibility for snipers, so but for the most part, it's still the same level. Things pushed around, pushed and pulled. I'm pretty happy how it turned out. It has a lot more structure, space, memorable buildings for players to keep a mental landmark of where they are, and what buildings connect to where. And pretty much the same thing on the red side. Obviously these will be blocked off so you can't go inside the base, but for now it's wide open. So that's the TF2 map update for the month of November. Next month I'll see if I got time to work on this because the holidays are coming up. Might be slacking a bit just for my own mental health and stuff, just to chill. Away from work, away from side projects, just chill over the holidays. But if I do have time, I will elaborate on this project a bit more and create a new video update. So again, appreciate it that you guys stop by, check this shit out, and once I have this playable to a point where you can't fall out of the map, the sightlines and spacing is more defined, some signage, I might put this up for playtesting. I don't know how I'll get people to play test it. I don't know, maybe do a live stream. Grab my friends and just run around the map and have fun and talk about some of the errors they find, because a good thing about level design is, yes, you trust your instincts, trust that it works, but then have other people play it because they will find all the flaws that you don't see because you're too attached to the project. And their constructive criticism will always be helpful. Yes, it could be harsh, but take it with a grain of salt. And I've been doing this for 15, 16 years now, level design, so yes, my friends can be harsh. Even the community members, if I put this on TF2 maps or something, it'll be even harsher, but it'll make the map better. And plus, it's my first foray into TF2 level design, so it's probably some mistakes that I'm not supposed to do when it comes to TF2 map design layout. But in terms of a level design project, I think it turned out quite nicely. So again, thanks for the support, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.